Good morning. Were you able to get in touch with anybody up there, Cory?
Not yet. My last 2 days were crazy hectic, but I that's it's on my 10 non-negotiable things to do today. So
Good deal.
it will. No, thank you. I will get on it. Um, yeah, I haven't even got a chance to respond. But hi Sherry, how's it going? Yeah,
Hi, doing well. Good to see
good,
you.
good. We'll give it a couple minutes, but do either one of you guys have something you wanted to talk about, share to kick us off?
I had my second meeting with the roofing company yesterday. Went really good. However, I honestly, you're gonna laugh. I couldn't give them a number for like what I wanted to charge them, but they offered 500. We pretty much were just going over like the different avenues that we were interested in. They don't want to do social media because they're already doing social media on their own. So I was thinking about the reminder media magazines with the inserts and then co-branding on a lot of the stuff that I leave in my open houses. And then they loved the idea of the herb, like the home equity boxes.
Nice. Very nice, very nice. Hi, good morning, Kristen. All right.
Good morning, all.
And Sherry, you have anything you want to share or want us to kick off with or anything like that?
Nothing's coming top of mind.
Okay. Perfect, perfect. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Um, I wish as realtors we had like a media staff or a camera that would just follow us around and people could actually see all the different things we do and all the different like yesterday I've been waiting for almost 2 years to get this flip done and it's finally done. Had the cleaners and the window cleaners and everyone lined up, had the stager lined up, and I show up yesterday to take pictures and video and the house is not cleaned not even a little bit. And the stager messed up on what rooms to stage as what and so I'm frantically running around with the photographer, like changing things around and stuff. And if people only knew, I was on my hands and knees scraping off the paint off the flooring. It was great. Um, but what can we do?
Earning that paycheck, Cory.
I hope there's a paycheck on this one. It's gonna be my last flip I ever do. This is number 50, I think 56.
Wow.
Um, and it was going to be like my last hoorah. I bought it for 700,000. I thought I was going to be able to put 300,000 into it and then we were going to be able to sell it for like 1.6, 1.7. So it's too good of a deal to pass up. But we got red tagged like 4 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, and the city, it took us over a year to get permits to start the work. And then this whole last year has just been like we would do something and then they'd make us go back and redo something that was done 40 years ago. It was the craziest thing. So we're hoping to break even. I mean, it would be awesome if we actually made some money, but we're thinking with holding costs and with the market shifting out here, we're hoping not breaking even.
Yeah.
All right.
Are
So
you, let me ask you that, are you seeing that a lot or have you seen that a lot, Cory, when you're doing your fix and flips or what have you? Like some of the older, like what used to be up to code is now starting to bite you in the butt on the
so
on the renos.
it really depends on the cities, and that's why we're pretty picky about what cities we go to. So
Okay.
there's some cities that as soon as you open up a wall, as soon as you try to do a permit for adding new stuff, they'll go back and make you change everything. And
Okay.
there's other cities that as long as like what you're trying to get permitted isn't affecting what you're trying to keep there, they're cool with it. A lot of times, I'll be honest, we just do cosmetic flips. So, we don't even go to the permit office because we're like, hey, we're just changing out flooring and appliances. Like I know you're supposed to get a permit, but there's nothing that should require to get a permit. I think anyone
Right.
should be able to go in and change their flooring or their cabinets or whatnot, or change out their stove. Um, in California, we have to do it if we want to change out like a dishwasher. And it's like I have to get a permit to change out my dishwasher. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Um, but and that's the whole thing. You're supposed to get a permit to get a demo permit, just to demo the things. But as soon as you do that, you're basically causing like a red flag to the city to say, oh, they're going to go in. Let's see what else that we can make them do. Um, so yeah, it's and to me, I don't know why they're so like, oh, this one guy, he was like the worst ever. I mean, there was something that got done. It was approved 1965. They approved this garage conversion to be into living space, and they added it to the square footage. Somehow they let them keep the garage door, and they just put stucco on the outside and drywalled the inside. Well, he made us take that out, put a whole new foundation footing in on that wall. And then once we did that, he said, "Oh, well, now that the walls opened up, you have to redo all the electric in that room too." And we're like, "We weren't planning to do any of that in that room." Um, so it's just one thing after another. He made us redo the electric box, and but we haven't touched it. He's like, but how do I know you haven't touched it? We're like, because you can see that the wiring's from like 1965. Well, we don't know. We don't know that for sure. You could have went out and changed out and used old wiring. So he literally the whole house is brand new because he didn't let us keep one single thing in that house.
Wow.
Um, so, and that's where I mean, I give always caution to people of like when you think you want to be a flipper and you think you see all these TV shows that make it look all easy, it's not. A lot of times the TV shows, they'll give them a wide berth. And a lot of times the TV shows, the production is actually paying for a lot of it, so they don't need to actually make money. Um, but there's nothing passive about it. And, I think I've learned, I believe that when you're flipping a home, when you buy the home, if you can't turn around and sell it the next day for a profit, then you're just gambling. And I truly believe that is your profit. So it's probably a better idea to buy the home, turn around, put it on the market, and see what you can sell it for, and just take that as profit and walk away. And then if it doesn't sell for a profit, then start gambling with the upgrades and stuff. But anyone want to share any wins? Any recent wins that they got going on, or any wins for the year? Anyone reach their goals or their milestones or anything of that nature? Going once.
Well, I guess I just have to brag that I passed my CSA on Monday.
Oh, congratulations. That is,
Thank you.
I heard a very, very hard test.
It was very intimidating.
How long have you been studying for it?
Well, to be honest, I was dragging my feet and I waited until it takes after a year it expires.
Mm,
You have to pay for the exam again. And I waited until the month before and just studied nonstop. But
perfect. What
hindsight's
do you think the
2020. I should
hardest
have done
part
it right
about the
away.
test? What was the hardest part about the test? Was it like definitions, understanding, like,
A lot of it covered things that I had no prior knowledge of. A lot of finance. I'm not real good with numbers, so I had a lot of learning to do.
okay,
And then also the tax laws.
mm, like dealing with the capital gains and property tax transfers and things like that?
Right, and just like the income tax and what's with Social Security and all that.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And now how are you going to capitalize that and implement that into your business?
Um, that's still kind of in the works.
Okay.
Um, I think that I am going to start reaching out, networking more with that in mind, and getting better connections with the attorneys in the area and the financial planners in the area, um, with that on over and above a real estate license.
Okay. And are you thinking about charging for like a consultation fee?
Nope, I think I'm going to be working more as with the board of directors idea.
Okay. Okay. One thing that I did, I mean, I'm not a CSA, but I'm a certified real estate planner. I basically said, you know, a strategy session is a $500 value. And if you're my client, if you're in my sphere, if you're referred from someone, I'll waive that fee. I think people, when they believe that there's a value to it, you know, they value it more and they respect you more. Um, and it's something also that if someone just wants to sit down with me and they don't want to do real estate and I don't actually know who they are, then I can at least get compensated for my time and my expertise. So it might be something to consider.
Okay, I like
Um,
that.
yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations, congratulations. Any Kristen or Heather, you guys have any wins or milestones that you've broken or anything of that nature?
I do. I was going to ask real quick though, what is the difference between the CSA and the other one that the SRES?
So, I mean, I'll answer it on the surface. SRES is you take a 4 hour class and it basically tells you this is why you want to get involved with seniors. And in my opinion, it says this is why you want to take advantage of seniors. It just tells you that there's a lot of seniors. It says, you know, there's different categories of seniors, but it doesn't actually show you how to help them, how to market to them. It's basically, in my opinion, the NAR's way of just grabbing another money grab to get
Yeah.
certified. But in a weird way, it's the most recognized designation you have. So I tell everyone, if you're going to get involved with seniors, go take the 4 hour class. It's online. Go pass the test and move on. CSA is way more in depth, and you're really learning how to advise seniors on basically planning for the future and beyond. Sherry, if you want to, you know, chime in on more of it. I've taken, well, I've paid for the course. I haven't paid for the class or for the exam yet.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The SRES is kind of a just an overview of what the possibilities are, and that's it. It doesn't go into any detail at all.
So would you recommend, because I've got my senior placement specialist certification, but would you recommend getting the CSA over the SRES? I mean, it sounds like the education is better, but what I guess I'm asking is, what do you feel the demographic feels looks better or is more attracted to?
The SRES is like getting, I don't know, like you said, it's a 4 hour course, and you know, it doesn't hurt to take it. It's relatively inexpensive. And then you've got those letters behind your name. The um the other one is like getting a college degree and
Okay,
comparing the two.
that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is like the SRES is the most recognized within the field and even sadly, even with the public, like, oh, I'm SRES. And I'll even have clients that, you know, I haven't met or, oh, is he SRES? It's like, yes, he is. Where CSA is not as recognized, but it's far superior than most acronyms you can have behind your name.
Okay.
Um, you know, I don't know, I don't know what they are in the top of my head, but it's like some doctors have these crazy acronyms behind them. You're like, oh, I don't know what that means. But the ones you recognize, you're like, oh, yeah, he's one of those. But the ones that you don't recognize are the ones that are like up here on a whole different level. That's kind of what I look at the CSA. Same with the CAPS. Like a lot of people don't know what CAPS is, and CAPS is a good program. I mean, it really shows you how to look at housing way better. But most people just don't know what caps means. So yeah. All right.
Just real
I mean, I
quick,
was
I would
today.
say that the
Go
public, if you're just looking at your clients as understanding what you have, the SRES is fine. The CSA is more, I think professionals recognize it.
Yeah. And I think when you're with a professional, you can say, I'm a certified senior advisor. Have you heard of that before? And then you kind of show like, hey, there's only X amount of certified senior advisors across the country. It's a really in-depth, elaborate, and then you show them what you've learned and how you understand things. And I think it'll give you, because most people don't look at realtors, especially professionals, as like oh wow, you're a realtor. So it'll bring you up to, hopefully in their eyes, closer to their level. Um, so
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So any topics that you guys want us to go over today? I mean, I got 15, 17 more minutes before I got to take my kids to school. I was going to talk about then like if everyone does like 10 non-negotiables I write mine out every night and then go through it every day. And like what's on our 10 non-negotiables or what should be on our 10 non-negotiables. Do you guys do that?
I don't have 10 of them, but I do 5. But yes, I do like a list of things that I need to get done that are absolutely non-negotiable every day.
Okay, and what type of things are on those?
Usually I try to do at minimum an hour of lead gen, and that's, I mean, that can look like anything. It's just touching new people that I have not made contact with. So I try to make some time to do that. Touching up on clients that I've already served. And then I try to take some time, like today's Friday. So this afternoon, I'll take time to review what I have on my schedule for next week and kind of just go through and see if there's anything I can add, if I can take off, because I've already started my top 5 list for my must do's for next week.
Anyone else? Kristen, Sherry, you guys do 10 non-negotiables?
Not 10, but it just kind of depends on the day and it's not the same every day.
Okay.
I'm just kind of I'm a list person. So at the end of, so yesterday I made my list of these are the things that I have to get done on Friday. But that list will change on Tuesday because it'll be if I have any carryover or if something else kind of pops up. I just switched brokerages about a month ago. So there's been a lot of extra stuff that I've had to do.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? I'm still finding things on my emails and my website that I still have to change over. Okay. And Sherry, do you do 10 non-negotiables?
I do not, but it sounds like I should be.
So I studied, I went through and studied 100 top producing agents, single agents. I didn't want to do the ones that have the big teams that are doing thousands of deals because that's a whole nother level of things. And what I've learned is almost every single one of them have a daily 10 or 10 non-negotiables. Um, 2 to 4 hours of prospecting is like on every single one of theirs, or a certain amount of conversations they have to have. And it's just a way to keep you focused on it because life happens, but also in real estate, because it's not a 8 to 5 job or a ABC job, you can start your day with great intentions, but all of a sudden your day goes and you can't do it. And so it's really having a list to say, okay, no matter what happens, I have to do this. And then it almost forces you to time block, meaning that if I'm in my time blocking of like my 1 hour education, no matter what happens in an hour, it's almost like I'm unreachable or inaccessible because I got to do that 1 hour education. So that's, kind of also I learned is they educate themselves at least an hour reading some kind of book, going to some kind of seminar, going to some kind of master class, something. They Also will practice their skill sets. So they'll role play, they'll go over their listing presentation or marketing presentation or buyer's consultation. They'll do something to improve themselves as far as like their skill sets, objection handling, 2 to 4 hours of prospecting, following up, and then marketing and branding. And I think, as a real estate agent, we have to realize we have a business. So if we just lead gen and we're not advertising and marketing, then we're not doing that part of it. And we still have to do file cleanup and follow up. And so it definitely really helped with my business. I I'm more of a fly by the seat of my pants type of guy. But it's really helped, organize things. And it keeps me focused. So I would definitely recommend it. And you start seeing like where when you are consistent with your prospecting, when you're consistent with your branding and social media, you start seeing it show up 3 to 6 months later. And that's the hard part in real estate, because our life cycle from meeting the clients to actually getting into escrow is, usually in depth. I mean, I just worked with one where we've been working on them for 2 years. And if I didn't have a system to follow up with him and keep in touch with him, then I would have been long forgotten. And it's like $2 million worth of property, so it's going to be a worthwhile. Um, so yeah, so I would definitely recommend it. And then you have to review it at the end of the day and say, okay, what didn't I do? Okay, I got to put that on for the next thing. And um, but yeah, it's definitely worth it. Um, and Heather, you have your five. Do you when you set your daily five, do you put like, okay, I'm going to do this at this time and this is this time? Or is it more like, okay, as long as I get them done some point in time of the day, that's good enough for me?
So I am struggling currently and trying to like not beat myself up when I don't achieve what I put in my calendar.
Hmm.
What I've started doing is kind of trying to, number one, coordinate what my tasks are. And I have tried to do that with like, here's like educational stuff. Here is things that I absolutely cannot miss. Here's customer related stuff, things like that. Um, what I have started doing is like I have an actual calendar that I write everything in, and there's like a note section. So everything that's like maybe not planned and comes up, if it's urgent, I'll put it in that note section and circle it so that I know it's like immediate. It's like a fire. I need to put it out immediately. If it's something that's like a task that just gets added to like my duties and it's not urgent, then I'll put it over and schedule it in the calendar. And it'll get like a half hour time slot, whatever I think I can fit it in. Um, Otherwise, you're gonna laugh. It'll go on a post-it and it kind of just sits there until either A, I see it and get tired of looking at it, or B, it will be the very next item that I work on.
Right. Okay. Hey, I mean, as long as you have a system and it works and keeps you there,
We're
you know,
fine tuning it, Cory. We're fine tuning it.
Um, I used to have it was like app that was called like Task Finder or Task something. Uh, and I'd go through and I'd make my thing. And then, the next day I'd wake up and I'd look at it like all proud. And then 3 days later, I'd be like, oh yeah, and I'd have like 50 now tasks, compiling up. So I stopped doing that because it just wasn't thing. I'm old school. I'm like pen and paper. So post-it notes make sense to me. Um, Sometimes I'll put alarms in there, or I'll go in my CRM and put like a task or reminder, hey, call this person on this day to ask how his knee surgery went. Something like that. So I've been pretty good about it. And one of my non-negotiables is I have to, almost first thing when I get into the office, I go in, I open up my CRM, and I see if there's any task or any people that I have to, go into. And I'm pretty intentional about like my prospecting. Like when I do my hour of social media, I literally, an engagement, I will pull up my CRM, I'll pull up my Facebook, And when I come to, my next, person, I'll start writing notes in their spot in the CRM of like, their what daughter had softball game and they won the World Series, or person had a baby on this day and they just celebrated their birthday number two. So now when I talk to the person, I have something to talk about and something to bring about. And also sometimes if there's a milestone, then it's a reason to call. So I'll already have their CRM pulled up, so I don't have to say, oh, well, I'll call them later. No, just call them up right then. Now their CM's already pulled up, and I can really book in and log in their notes. Um, because my whole business is built on building relationship, making partnerships. So what a better way than to truly, investigate the person, write about them, take notes, and then be able to talk about the stuff that they're posting about. Because generally speaking, I mean, there are some people that just love to post, but generally people post what's important to them or post what they want to share. And not a lot of people reach out to them anymore because of Facebook. You just comment on them or like their posts, and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. But I believe people still want human connection, and I think it's even more important now than it's ever been.
I reached out to a client of mine that I closed when I first got my license almost 4 years ago. And I hadn't talked to her. We had a good relationship, but life happens, everybody gets busy. And I happened to reach out to her a couple weeks ago just via text. Hey, how are you doing? Wanted to see when a good time was for me to pop out and see ya. Again, it's been a while since I seen you. I know the girls are getting older. I seen your one daughter started freshman year this year, big high school kid. She messaged me back yesterday and she actually sent me an invitation to her baby shower. So you know what that means? She is now outgrowing her house because she only has a 3 bedroom and with 2 girls and herself and a baby on the way.
Yep.
So, with that invitation, I mean, obviously I'm gonna go hang out with her. I loved her. We made a friendly connection, but I will use that as an opportunity to then look inside her home and be able to send her an accurate home equity review because she is going to need to be upsizing within the next year because she has now outgrown her home with her new addition.
Yep, that's awesome. I mean, I'm one to believe that in order for someone to be considered your client, you actually have to be compensated for services provided, or they're not your client. They're a prospect. So in real estate, I hate the word past client because there's no such thing as a past client.
Yeah.
Once they paid you, they become your client. And if we treated them like that, once someone's your client, you would take extra care of them because now they're their client. They paid you. But we look at it the other way around of like, oh, we did our services. We don't, they're not our client anymore. They're our past client. So I do a really good job, and then I kind of look at it as like, okay, this client's worth to me 5 transactions in their life, but more importantly, they're worth to me maybe 35 referral opportunities. So they could possibly worth millions of dollars if I just nurture them as a true client and then as a partner. So they're my relationship, but they're also my partner of like how I help my grow my business. And I think that mindset, that mentality really has helped me grow my business, but also really keep in touch. Now, not every single person, some people just stop answering the phone calls, and some people, you know, they for some reason just don't want to talk. Okay, well, then they're an ex-client of mine. They don't want to be my client any further. Um, but I try to do a really good job about just being a human being and finding ways to care about them, and I think Facebook and Instagram are great ways to do so. Anyone else have anything they want to share, talk about? Any obstacles, conversations that are tough right now to have?
I think I'm gonna have to have a conversation with decreasing price on my listing.
So, yeah, did you start under market value or did you start above market value?
So that's kind of the tough thing. So this house, normally I would have listed it between like 250 and 275. in this neighborhood because that's kind of what the comparables were at. However, all of the comparables, none of them had a basement. And this particular ranch not only has a basement, but it's a finished basement.
Okay.
So it's listed obviously about, between 40 and 50,000 higher than all of the competition within the neighborhood because none of the other ones have a basement, let alone a finished basement. So that's kind of where I'm struggling. I have definitely been pushing out, that it is the finished basement. There has been updates. It's also the only house in the entire neighborhood that has a new roof, and all of them are, at the end of their roof life. They're all due for that renovation. It's got new appliances. It's got a new kitchen sink. Like they've done some work to it. Um, but yeah, it's kind of where it's at.
So
We can't
what's
really raise it anymore. And my thought is if we do any type of price decrease, right now we're listed at 299.9 because we wanted to stay under that 300 mark. But I think what is hurting us right now is that 299.9. I think if we went 299 even, or even like 298 even, it would put us under that threshold on all those search buckets on like Zillow and realtor.com.
okay? Um, Are on your MLS, are you allowed to your square footage? Does it have to match title and property taxes, or can you put like there's like in ours we can put measured or sellers or owners like
Not really. In ours, there's kind of like the finished, unfinished, and then total. So what I have in mind, I mean, I put it in here that it is a daylight basement. It has windows. There's a bar that's included. I mean, mini
yeah, but
fridge.
usually when people are looking, they look at bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage.
Okay.
Can you include the basement as square footage in that square footage?
Yes, because it's finished.
Okay. And it shows that.
Yes.
And you're still the comps that are with that square footage are still $40,000 less.
So the comps won't even pull the ranches when I do that. They will only pull the 2 stories because none of the ranches have that finished square footage.
Copy. Um, okay. So yeah, I mean, I always have, what's the motivation of them selling?
They need to move and they financially they came into a hard spot 6 months ago. One of them was furloughed and then the other one was furloughed right behind them. So they both lost their job. They ended up regaining jobs, but it took 6 months. And now the jobs that they have, they essentially have lost a full salary with the cuts that both of them had to take.
Copy. So, I mean, it's a tough conversation, but it's hey, no one saw the market that was going to change. Like at least I didn't see it, that the market was going to change so quickly. And my fear is that we're going to start chasing the market. If we go down by a little bit, what's going to happen is we started here, the market's now here. And if we try to come down to meet that market, by the time that the market reacts, it's actually going to be further down. And then we're going to keep chasing it. We're going to keep chasing it. And we're going to end up getting a lot lower. Versus if we go here and we actually go 3 to 5% under market value, now we don't have to do another price reduction. When someone looks at this, they're going to see the value of it and they'll either come up to market value because you're going to draw more competition, or you're going to be able to sell it here and get us out of the situation we're in to better our situation. Because in the long run, this 3 to 5%, so this six to $15,000, you're not going to notice over a long period of time.
Right.
And if your house is doing this, then the ones that we're buying are also doing this. But if we're downsizing and price wise, them going, your $300,000 house going down by 5% is 15,000. But if you're buying a $200,000 house and it goes down by 5,000, or 5%, it's only going down 10,000. So you're still losing $5,000. So I would rather catch us up here and put us in a better situation And then leave it up to
So
them. You know,
here's,
it's if selling isn't the priority and you have to get a certain price, we might have to wait till the market starts
Mhm.
rebounding, which rates are coming down. Usually when rates come down, the market does rebound, but we also have had a 16-year-over-year appreciation. We've never had that in the history of our country. So we might have just come to unaffordability and people have said enough's enough, and we might see a full 10 to 15% reduction. And if we do that, your $300,000 house is really going to be worth 270 to 250. And if if it sits on the market that long, by the time it's worth 250, 270, people are going to go, oh no, it's been on the market for 3 months, 6 months. It must not be worth that. And so they're going to even start getting lowball
yeah.
even more. And your situation
Well,
is just going to get worse.
and then check this out. Property taxes, the assessed value is like 289. So there's not much room for us to even decrease the listing price without it being an immediate loss based on the tax assessed.
Well, but yeah, yeah, I'm coming. No, I'm going to.
Nope, we'll chair
I'm
it. You
going
got it.
to.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Well, no, we'll chair it. You got daddy duties. I
yeah,
get
I gotta take the kids to
it.
school. But we'll finish it off. But you guys have a great day, and let me know if there's anything to help. And Heather, if you want to role play it or go through it, just give me a call.
Yeah, I will. Thank you, Cory.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks, guys.
Cory.
Bye.
Bye.